Hi, and welcome to Restored by Polish, where we talk about how polish helps us with our overall mental and physical well-being. I'm Krista.
I'm Jacqueline.
And I'm adding that back in because...
Are you? I know, I was like,
well,
you're surprising me here.
The reason why I'm adding that little tag in there is because that's really what our channel has been about. And we, for a while now, have gotten away from doing our little projects awareness polishes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just because, and not because we were intentionally trying to do that. It's just with getting started with PPU, that's been a lot.
And COVID too. COVID's been a little limiting.
Yeah, that's been a little bit limiting. True. So, but I also just think it mostly was because just trying to get used to PPU and the timelines for that and things. We just haven't been able to get around to doing those awareness sets. So I don't know. Maybe that's just my thought on it, is what was going on. But I'm really excited today. We are really excited today because we are doing another awareness polish. We are. Yes. And we were supposed to do this with Louise from Loopy Frog Nails. She is the one that contacted us, wanted us to do this for endometriosis, which is something that she suffers from. And our original intent was that we were going to do this video with her, and unfortunately she's not feeling well today.
That's a bummer.
I know, it's a real bummer. But of course we always want her to feel her best and not do things that are going to exacerbate things or make things worse. So she agreed to just let us go ahead and film and show this beautiful polish that Louise came up with. So we're excited to do that, and we're going to talk a little bit about endometriosis facts, a little bit about the charity that all the proceeds will be going to, and have a little bit of fun, just a little chit chat. So
well, actually, Rami is the one that put this one together.
So I need to give
some props to Rami. So Louise gave us the criteria that she wanted in the polish, and Rami pulled it together.
And it's super pretty. It's just such a bright, sunshiny.
So I can't take any credit at all.
When I think of,
I made the labels.
There you go. That's a lot though. When I think of Louise though, this is what, like, if I had to come up with a color and a polish, like this definitely represents who she is. You know, even though we know that she suffers with not feeling well so often, she still has this wonderful, bright, shining, bubbly personality, and awesome. I love watching her videos, and I am going to link all of that information below. If you don't follow her, you are missing out, because she just has such fun, quirky videos. I'll also link all the information for the polish as well as to the charity, and as we talk about that, but you can look in the description box too to find information on that. So all right, well, let's get the camera turned around. Okay. All right, well, welcome to the Restored by Polish Endometriosis Awareness polish, and the name of this one was picked by Louise. She actually came up with it, and hopefully we'll be able to fit them all the time.
I don't know that we can.
So this one is called Endometriosis is Not the Endometrium, which I think is so cute.
The label is like a 0.75 inch.
Yeah. So we might be doing some really, really tiny writing.
Yeah.
So this is this beautiful, bright, sunshiny yellow. It has a mix of different glitters in there. So what Louise really wanted us to do when we came up with this polish is she wanted a tonal polish, so yellow on yellow. So this has all the different yellow glitters that you could possibly find, right? That you went and purchased.
Yes, believe it or not, yellow is tough.
Yeah, tough to find. So
it's got some. I have all the ingredients right here.
Yeah,
it's got matte yellow hex. It's got matte banana. It's got. It is a thermal. That's worth mentioning.
Yes, it is a thermal, yeah. But it's a very subtle thermal.
It's a very subtle thermal.
Yeah.
This is the cold state. The warm state is just a more pale yellow.
Yeah, like a very pale
And then it has some microflakes and some gold holo flakes, I think.
Yeah.
Do you see gold holo in there?
Yep, I do. And I also see
it has some iridescent ones. Look at you.
Yeah, see, I can see the iridescent.
I didn't make it, so that's why I don't know. But I didn't even know what I put in my own one, so I can't really claim
that's true. It's always a big question when we're doing these videos. I have no idea what I put in there.
No, because I don't remember. Yeah, I have to write it all down. Well,
yeah.
When I'm making one, if I don't write it all down, like as I go, I'm like, what did I put in there?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm guessing that's probably true with most makers. You got to write everything down.
Write it at the moment you're doing it.
So getting back to this polish, the reason why Louise wanted to have all the different types of glitter, yellow glitter, like yellow on yellow glitter, was to represent all the different ways that endometriosis can affect people, and that it affects everyone differently. Everybody's on their own journey. Everybody has their own variation of how this disease is working in their body. And so that was the representation in there. That's kind of the background of why this polish is what it is. So we have that bright sunshiny yellow, and then all the different glitters and elements in there to represent the variation of the disease itself. So that's where we're at with that. All right, so we're gonna have Jacqueline go ahead and swatch on here. Now this brush is from the swatching bottle, so don't pay attention to that brush. There will be the nice brush that Restored by Polish always has in their polishes, which is the nice paddle brush. And while she's doing this, and you're getting to watch the formula and how this applies so nicely on the nails, I'm going to read you some facts about endometriosis. So endometriosis, if you didn't know what it is, endometriosis is a condition in which tissue that is similar to the lining inside of the uterus is found outside of the uterus. And because of this, it causes chronic inflammation. Basically, it just your body reacts, it gets it, and then that actually causes scarring to build up, scar tissue to happen.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, it definitely does. And this tissue can be formed in a lot of different places outside of the uterus. So you can have it like in your pelvis, on your ovaries. It can be on your bladder. It could be even onto your bowel. There's actually been cases of it going into people's lungs, which I think is crazy.
Really?
Yeah. So yes. So at any rate, it's tissue that looks like uterine lining that ends up somewhere where it's not supposed to be, is basically that in a nutshell. It's estimated that about 1 in 10 women will end up with endometriosis in their reproductive years. So between like age 15 to 49.
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. They said worldwide it's about 176 million women in the world. That's crazy. That's a crazy number of people, or I should say number of women. So endometriosis can start really as early as a girl's first cycle, and it can go on until later, like I said, up until basically menopause. Menopause may not actually resolve the symptoms either, so that I thought that was interesting, because you would think that once you go through, they said not necessarily, that it doesn't necessarily do that. The symptoms of endometriosis, and this is what kills me, is that you have painful periods, like seriously painful. I mean, everybody has somewhat of pain, but really painful periods, painful ovulation, pain during intercourse, heavy bleeding, chronic pelvic pain, fatigue, infertility, and then it can just basically impact your entire just well-being, right? Your mental health, as any chronic condition can do, right? This is no different. So look how pretty that is.
So
I'm over here
starting on second coat here.
It's so pretty.
I'm not so good at doing this on camera, so I apologize in advance.
I think you're doing pretty good. I mean, you've come a long way since you started.
Yeah,
a year and a half ago when you were starting to do this, huh? So let's talk about a couple other things about endometriosis. The other thing that doesn't fix it is pregnancy. If the woman does get pregnant, there seems to be some relief in the symptoms, but it definitely doesn't cure it, nor does actually having a full hysterectomy. You would think that if you just go in and you take it all out, that would fix it, but that's not what they find. They find that it ends up, not always. I mean, sometimes it does help it, but sometimes it just comes back again in other places. So, which I can totally relate to, coming from Crohn's disease, which is the same way. I've had a couple of bowel surgeries and it always just comes back, and even if you think you're taking the whole part of it out, it just seems to come back. What endometriosis is not, it's not an autoimmune disease, which I was really shocked by that. They know that they've definitely ruled that out. They do say it can run in families. It can be, there's some kind of genetic component to it, but it's kind of a weak correlation, I guess. And the other thing I wanted to talk about with the endometriosis is that the fact of that scarring and the adhesions that come from it because of that inflammation, which is another one that I can really relate to. There's not a whole lot that the medical community can do about scarring and adhesions because surgery, that's really the only thing they can do. They can go in
and they can do surgery for endometriosis?
They can if it gets pretty severe. Yeah, that's what I've read.
They just move it, take it out, and then it comes back
and
again?
Then it'll come back. Exactly. It's kind of like the same thing with Crohn's. But also I know for me, and I don't know if this is true with people that have endometriosis, but the more you injure an area, so going in and doing surgery and taking out that scar,
that probably makes it worse.
It makes it worse. That's the more you end up with more scarring and more adhesions. The other thing that I know personally about scarring and adhesions is that you cannot see it on any medical test. If they, you're having pain because of the adhesions in the scar tissue, they go and do an MRI or a CAT scan or whatever, ultrasound, they cannot see scar tissue. The only way to see it is to go in and look at it. And so you never really want to do that because then, of course, you cause more scarring and more adhesion when your body tries to heal. So it's kind of a catch-22, which is a bummer. I know from just my own personal experience that really what they tell you is to pain control. It's really all you can do when you have just scar tissue and adhesions. Now that's different than for endometriosis because endometriosis is the actual thing that's causing the scarring. So, all right. And then a couple other facts that I saw about endometriosis is that it can be extremely painful. So if you just want to know what the symptoms are, it typically goes to your lower back, intestinal area, like that pelvic pain. You can get intestinal pain definitely from it. You can even have painful bowel movements, so just because I'm sure pulling on the scarring that's in there. Yeah. And again, we did talk about the infertility, which I know I have a couple of friends that struggled with that because of the endometriosis for sure. It tangles up your ovaries, and then your ovaries can't ovulate, and so it can cause a real mess for sure. Or just messing up your lining of your uterus. Primarily, that can also cause issues with infertility. So the other thing that I just wanted to talk about, and this kind of gives us a segue into the charity that Louise had mentioned and wanted for the proceeds to go to. But that is one of the things that it is difficult for women to get a diagnosis of endometriosis because well, let's talk about this because women go to the doctor, I'm having pelvic pain, and it gets dismissed, right? You're just a woman. You're just having, it's your period. Yep, your period is painful, So we get a lot of that kind of feeling from the medical community. You just sort of get dismissed, and it's infuriating. It's very frustrating that that's what happens, that you can't get the doctors to listen to you. And so the charity that Louise wanted to pick was actually not an endometriosis charity. No, it is called, and I'm going to make sure that I get it right. So it's the Fair Treatment for the Women of Wales. Cool. And the reason why she picked this was because even though it's not really a specific endometriosis organization, they have done the most to help. They've given their most support. They've kind of pushed the issues along that are most paramount in people that are suffering from endometriosis. So I thought that was really interesting. And I also thought it was really great, since March is Endometriosis Awareness Month. March is also the month for Women in History. It's Women History's Month.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I thought that is so perfect for us to give all the proceeds to the Fair Treatment for the Women of Wales. And I will link that information below, so you can take a look at that. And so just know, every bottle purchased, all of the profit will be going to this charity to help for research and help in general for women who suffer from endometriosis. All right, so back to the beautiful polish over here.
That's the third coat.
I love it. She's put a quick dry top coat on there. What I love the most about this polish is that it has a teeny little bit of orange is what I see in there, and I love that. It just gives it a nice brightness to it. You can see all the elements. We're going to give this a second to dry, and then we're going to show you the thermal properties. So we're going to get some hot water and some cold water, and we'll go through that. So let's take a break. Okay, so as we were getting the hot water, I just wanted to, just as I was telling Jacqueline, while we were waiting that I think this tone of yellow is just universally flattering. Like a lot of people struggle with yellow, especially like somebody like me who has a yellow, like olivey skin tone. But this yellow, I think, is just like the perfect shade. I think it's going to be.
Yeah, look, it works good for you.
Yeah,
there it
I
is
think
in the
it'll be
swatching
fine.
bottle.
So yeah, that's just
maybe
awesome.
because it's really bright.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, anything that has like a nice bright quality just pops off everybody's skin tone for sure. All right, so let's put that. See what happens with this hot water.
I need that to be.
We're gonna put a little crumpled up paper towel over here.
Yeah, sorry. I just. Okay, so you want me to try to be like creative?
Half and
here?
half, yeah. See if we can do half and half.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm that talented.
So you got the hot on the fingertips there.
Yep.
It's just very pale. Put the whole hand in. Let's go ahead and so they can see the difference. And I'll be putting in some swatch photos as well, so we'll be able to see. Oh yeah, there you go. Now you can see it. Yeah. So it's a subtle one. It's a very subtle shift.
It is. It's a colorless, but because we have so many elements in it that are yellow, it's picking up the yellow.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Right. So instead of it going from yellow to
completely colorless,
it's going from yellow to like a pale yellow.
That was the intention, actually.
Yes. So that you didn't just have a clear nail with bright
there
yellow
you go.
tips.
You can see it there.
That's so pretty. So even in that warmer state, I still think a flattering color. So that is so pretty.
I'm glad you like it.
I do really like it. I was a little, when Louise said yellow, I was like, oh no, but that is, beautiful. I love it. In fact, I need to get me a bottle. I think I'm going to have to. I'm gonna have to make my donation so that I can get my.
And let's talk about that for a minute. So how they can purchase it.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So it's a little complicated, right? Because Louise is actually in the United Kingdom. And so with it being international, of course, we're over here across the pond in the States, we are going to be offering it 2 different ways. So here locally, domestic purchases can be done at Restored Naturally, and I will link that below. And how much will it be at Restored Naturally?
$9. All our polishes are $9.
$9 at Restored Naturally. And then on her Etsy site, which is the way you can purchase it internationally, it will be...
I need to do some math, but either $9.50 or $10 because I really want to make sure we're able to give what we want to give to the charity, because Etsy takes a lot more money for their services. I mean, but I want to make sure we have enough.
By the time we post the video, I will put the text here so that you know how much it'll be internationally.
I think $9.50 is probably okay. It probably covers most of the costs.
Okay, so and that's just like Jacqueline said, Etsy takes a huge cut, and then of course we've got shipping, which we all know, we're aware of the shipping. Trying to get anything to Europe is a little tricky. The nice thing about Etsy is they take care of all the customs side of it, which is where a lot of the fees go to. So that kind of takes the organizational side of it off of Restored Naturally having to do that, right? Or Restored Polish having to do it. So those are the 2 ways. I will link both links in the description box below. How long is it going to be available? The entire month, you think? Of
for
March?
sure.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little.
Maybe even longer.
Maybe March and April.
Okay.
I feel like gives people a chance to.
Got a couple months.
One full pay cycle, so they can buy it if they want to.
There you go. That's right. Please reach out and with any questions. If you have any questions all about the polish, any questions about endometriosis, maybe I will send those questions over to Louise. She's probably the expert on that. I apologize again that we didn't get to have her personal experience here, because I think that would have been really awesome to do that. But again, we wish her well and hope that she's feeling better. And if you have, like I said, any questions, leave them below. We will see you in our next video. Please like and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.